August 1st, 2022 City Council meeting. If we would all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Becky, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Hewlin,
Here.
Parker,
Present.
Dalby,
Here.
Schroeder,
Present.
Beach,
Here.
Richardson,
Present.
Mayor Erickson.
Present. We'll now move on to the public comment part of the agenda. If you would please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. You give us your comments. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak? Yeah, this would be a good time. Yeah. No problem at all.
I'm Stacy Crow with Crow's Nest in Indianola down here at the RV park. And I have a question and a complaint on my Indianola stormwater. And I've talked to, I know I'm gonna kill his name. Ash.
AP.
Okay, thank you. And he said for me to come here and talk to you guys because it's $672.24 every month for the stormwater. And we have no infrastructure whatsoever. We just have a gravel road, so all the water just runs off and into the creek that's there. So I'm just curious as to why I'm being charged that much money. That's $7,200 a year that I could spend on paying electric bills and stuff. But especially since I don't have any storm sewers or anything, it just runs off just like a gravel road. And I mean, anybody, I don't know if well, Charlie's been out there. I know Charlie's been out there. So it's not like I have any, I mean, it comes off the field and across the road and into the creek. So if anybody can explain that to me and explain why I need to have and pay that kind of money per lineal foot or whatever they call it. I just think it's a little outrageous for me because I don't have any infrastructure. I have no curbs or gutters or anything like that. So I'm just would like to contest it.
Okay.
That'd save me $7,200 a year. I know it wouldn't you guys, but.
Well, I think this is something we'd have to do some digging, but if you
That's fine.
give me your phone number,
Sure.
the city manager and I can get together tomorrow and Ben, you're in the office, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I didn't want to promise something that couldn't happen. Get together tomorrow and we can give you a call.
Yeah, and I know that you
We'll
just
look at some
implemented
stuff
it
and-
last July.
I think last July, yes, there
Yes.
was a increase.
Right. And I obviously didn't have it till then, and now I've got it, and it's like, I've been wanting to come in and talk about it, and I just haven't had the time.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I can leave all that stuff
Yeah, absolutely.
with whomever. I mean, I just put
You
it,
fill out one.
I did. I didn't
Give
put,
that to me.
okay, I
If
don't
you
have
put
my
your
phone number.
on there.
Yeah.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Yeah, so
We'll do
that's-
some digging and
Okay.
he's currently out of the country, but I think Ben and I can do some digging.
Okay, yeah, I just, like I said, if I could, that would help me considerably. I mean, my bills, this is last month's bill, $4,300. And this month I just got it, and I think it's over $5,000.
For the month.
Mhm. So I'd like to save a little somewhere.
Absolutely. No, we'll get together.
Can we have just either a report or some kind of information publicly at the next meeting as well, and just to follow up on this as well too, then, please.
Absolutely. All
Thank you.
right. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank
I'll reach
you.
out tomorrow.
Thank you.
Right, is there anyone else who'd like to speak? All right, if none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items that need to be pulled? Well, first, yeah, gotta do that first and second. Any items? No, a first and second motion?
So moved.
Second. All right,
All right.
discussion?
Just have a question, and I think Ben has answered both of my questions on trying to get some pricing on the joint fuel facility, and he's gonna work on that. So that was one of my questions based on the fuel items that were in the claims. Other than that, I think I'm okay, so.
I've got a question too. So on 5J and K, it looks like North 9th Court and North 8th Court are ending in cul-de-sacs. And I think we also had a cul-de-sac that is part of the Trail View plat as well. Obviously with the cul-de-sac, we can't develop any further north on those. Is there a reason we're ending those in cul-de-sacs? I'm just curious if geographically, is it not possible to expand further north on those streets?
I am not exactly sure. I think Charlie maybe could answer that a little bit better, but I know that they're, at this point, they're warranty bonds. So this is after the fact, the infrastructure is already in. Is that right?
Just pulling this up really quick so I can. Okay, Charlie South Community Development Director. So you'll see it's the North 8th Court that's ending in a cul-de-sac there. The reason for that is when you get a little bit further, be actually northeast of that portion right there, there's just a big stormwater detention pond that's in there. So there's really no way to go north of that. Now North 7th, how that's going up right now, that's currently in a temporary gravel cul-de-sac. That's normal because I think, what's the measurement? Is it 250? If their streets are that long, it requires. So if you have a dead end road that's more than 250 feet, you've got to provide for these temporary access turnarounds for fire trucks, which the developer did on that. But the plan would be eventually that North 7th Street would continue up to the north and eventually connect with Willowcrest when Willowcrest is extended from Jefferson back to the east. So that one would go through, and then, so that's kind of would be kind of on the northwest side where that's dead ended in. And then the bottom portion there, which is North 7th as well. The streets really get confusing on that intersection right there because we're shifting some of the North 7th and North 8th, but on the bottom there, then that will connect to the development that's going in down to the south. So DR Horton's property is getting developed down there. And then there's one remaining plat that the developer on Outlot Z there is going to further develop on this one as well.
How about on North 9th Court?
North 9th Court. So that one's already in there, but that's the same thing. So if you look kind of just where North 9th Court is and North 8th Court is there, that area to the north there that doesn't have a lot number, that's just that giant detention basin that's sitting in there for stormwater management. So,
Okay. I appreciate Charlie.
yep,
Thank you.
no problem.
Thanks, Charlie. Any other questions? Any highlights from the consent agenda, Ben?
Yes, just to kind of go through it really quickly. As far as item 5D, that is a cost of approximately $23,000 against a budget of $45,000. It's for the equipment only. On item 5E, it's a cost of approximately $143,000 against a budget of $188,000. And that's because of the extended time on the construction of the WRRF. As far as item F, that is a $53,000 cost against a $100,000 budget for that fiber connectivity. The resolution on change order number 2 is a decrease. And we've already talked about some of the others, so I think that's the majority of the consent agenda items.
Jackie, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Dolby,
Aye.
Schroeder. Aye. Beach.
Aye.
Richardson.
Aye.
Hewland.
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
right, moving on to council reports, we have Councilmember Hewlin with the Warren County Economic Development Report.
Yes, thank you. So we met late June and I didn't get it turned into Jackie in time, so I'm reporting this slightly late, but I will just hit the highlights that we discussed. They continue to work on the strategic plan and going to be adopting that. We talked about the Warren County Business Breakfast that's happening this week on Wednesday. I think Rachel sent out an email too. I don't know if you've seen it all, but there is a really great attendance. Again, it's a wonderful event, but I think they're down to like 10 or 15 spaces yet. So if you haven't submitted your registration, I would recommend attending. It's a great event. And we are also discussing the Warren County Small Business Grant contest that will be opening up here later this month and into September. Talked about site certification on the SternQuest site, a revolving loan fund that is being discussed, which is a great opportunity for us. And then just some updates on the WCPP, Warren County Leadership Institute, and Hometown Pride. So there was a good discussion, and but yeah, the first four were kind of the main highlights, I think, that would interest everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, Councilmember Parker will give the Greater Des Moines Convention and Visitors Bureau report.
Yep. So again, I wasn't able to attend this meeting. They, like I said, unfortunately, they had to move the meeting to another date that did not work for me because not enough people could go to the previous date. Anyway, so what was approved was they approved the budget for the new year. And then set in motion, we'll have an audit done for last year coming up at the end of the year, and I'll report back on that. That was the majority of the meeting. And then they did report back on that they've seen a spike in website travel or visitors. They said in June, or actually in May, the website had 211,027 monthly visitors, which is the most they've ever had. And then we've had 1.577 million visitors this year so far, so which is also the most. So again, we are Indianola. We have events that are part of that are on the website as well. So you know, they're seeing it starting to open up and starting to pick up more business travel, but definitely the events in the Des Moines metro area are shining. That they're pretty sure that the Mountain Dew or the Dew Tour thing was a success last weekend, and they're pretty sure that that'll be maybe going into an ongoing thing yearly. And then they did add 3 additional years to the Ironman. So a lot of positive activity in the metro area. So, and I know they're going to be they're part of the National Balloon Classic. They sponsor that, so they've been sending out information on that on the social media and stuff, and then also going to be getting out information too on the golf disc golf tournament that we have coming up as well. So that's the extent of my report.
Moving into item 7 is the mayor's report. We have a lot going on. Starting with last week, we had the Warren County Fair, Arts Fest, parade. We've got the balloons going on. Love the balloons. We have 123 pilots here, 22 are female, and we have multiple different countries here as well too. We have this weekend, August 5th through 7th, the True Bank Des Moines Challenge, which is disc golf, Warren County Economic Development Breakfast, RVTV. It's back to school month, so things are going to get a little crazy with that. And we have special guest here tonight. We have Audrey Troutman from the Mayor's Youth Council. It's nice to see her in a summer to come, and she has a special guest with her, it looks like too. So future mayor there. So yeah, it's going to be a busy August. We'll continue to impress people with our town, and it's been great. The balloons have been great. It's been packed every night, so and morning. It's just been beautiful flights. Yeah.
And there was a lot of people there last night, even though they couldn't fly. So it was, and a lot of them stuck around, which was nice. So
They flew all the way down to Milo, some of them today. So winds were crazy, but it was fun.
and I believe it's actually the Women's Nationals is going on
Yes.
as well. So
Really?
that's probably why there's a large
Yeah.
number of
Wow.
female pilots. I just happened to see it on the leaderboard on the outside of the one of the buildings out there. I was like, oh, I did not know that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And for anyone watching, if you are interested in ever helping with the balloon, you can reach out to Stacy Sternbrand at the Balloon Classic or myself as well too, because they pretty much run on volunteers, so they do a lot of good work. All right, we'll move on.
One other thing I would mention, you
Yeah.
mentioned the disc golf tournament.
Mhm.
No, is Doug,
That's not-
He's not here tonight. I don't know if they're still looking for volunteers to work the event in the sense that they need people, check-in folks, and then they can only have certain amount of paid resident people to come in and or people wanting to watch the event. They have to have an X number of people that then escort them down the golf course. And so we need to make sure we got plenty of people signed up that they can then have as many paid admissions as we want to have. So might talk to Doug if you're interested in doing something like that. Basically, what you do is you hold back the crowd, make sure they stay out of the fairway and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
You're one of the quiet police.
Yeah, I think you can do all that too, yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be really busy on that side of town. this
It is,
weekend,
yes.
but-
But that's gonna happen just after our next council meeting, so that's why I want to bring it to.
All right, we will move on to number 8, public consideration. So we have old business. I need a first and second motion to open the public hearing on a proposed amendment number 7 to the Hillcrest Downtown Unified Urban Renewal Plan in the city of Indianola.
I would so
Steve,
move.
Correct.
Second.
Thank you. Jackie, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Phelan,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Dolly,
Aye.
Schroeder. Aye. Beach,
Aye.
Richardson.
Aye.
All right, we are now in the public hearing and Charlie giving us the presentation.
Maybe not. Do we need slides? There we go. Just need to be.
Just gotta pound on the keyboard.
Yeah. I have no idea what I did to move it there and how to get back.
Backwards arrow.
Yeah, it's not working.
You're not hitting hard.
Yeah.
Get the battery out, Charlie.
We will just get out of this and get back into it again. And if that doesn't work, we'll restart it. There we go. Okay. So on this one in particular, and I think council is aware of this, we've been working with the property owner out there that is just at the southwest corner of Hillcrest and 143rd Avenue. That property owner purchased this 60-acre property recently, well, I should say last fall, and we've just been working with them on getting this spot developed. So kind of the first step in this process is we had to look at our current urban renewal plan, which is our TIF plan of this area. Going through the plan that was in 2019, there was just a few things that we needed to kind of clean up in that on there. And one of them had to do with when we talked about stormwater infrastructure in that initial TIF plan, we really focused on some regional detention because we were looking at that entire area. However, as we're getting into kind of the planning process of this particular property, we're realizing that detention on this property might not be feasible. So we just wanted to make an amendment that allowed us to continue to do detention if we wanted to, but also allowed us to put stormwater pipes in the ground as well. And then one other thing that we needed to add in was we were not anticipating an east-west road going through this particular property. So we needed to add that road into the plan as well. I did want to note too on this one, when we talked through this amendment that we were doing in the process that we'll be going through here for the next few months is only on this piece of property, that the private piece of property that it is right now. It's not part of the Hillcrest reconstruction project or anything else in that area. It'll just be on this particular project. So just one other thing we wanted to note is we did have a consultation meeting with Warren County in the Indianola School District that was hosted on July 12th, and those entities were invited. There was nobody who attended the meeting on that, so there were no comments received from either one of those entities. And just lastly, and I think I mentioned this already too, this is kind of the first step in a lengthy process where we'll go through a financing process and all of that to get funding available for the city to use ultimately if the council does approve that. So right now you are just approving the amendment to the urban renewal plan There's development agreements, plating, construction documents, and all of that that's going to come at a later date and time here within the next few months. So any questions on the plan, be happy to answer them.
Okay, Charlie, help me just focus this. So it used to be the 15th was well, really wasn't 15th Street, it was just a dirt road that went through
Yep.
Hillcrest. Okay, so is this on the west side of that or the east side of that?
It's on the east side of this,
That's
yeah.
what I thought.
And it gets through the years, we have right away going up to a point off of Iowa up to Hillcrest, but I think kind of where Cementex property is, that right away was all vacated at some
Right,
point
it
in time,
was.
so it's not there anymore. But yeah, it's all east of where that would be.
Okay.
What's the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Doesn't it kind of stop, the right of way kind of stops behind the Vanderlinden storage?
Yeah, I think that's about where it is. Yeah, without pulling it up here, I'm not sure, but it's about 3/4 of a mile up from Iowa.
Yeah, it's all been grown stuff.
Yep.
That's where you used to go to.
Yes. So what's the east road, your east-west road going through there then?
It will be, so what we'll do, if you're familiar with where Missouri Valley is right now, 17th Street is stubbed in about 275 feet north of Iowa Avenue right now. The ultimate plan that we have would be to continue 17th Street up to that point, continue it north, and then 17th Street would turn into 143rd Avenue when it got in the county. So that road would be put on essentially the east property line of this property. But to get full use out of that property, we need to get another road in there. So we're looking at a cul-de-sac that would go in there and kind of just be used, and there'd be industrial properties that came off it, just because really we have to put a cul-de-sac in there because there's no way to get it through all the way to 14th, just because there's existing businesses that are already there.
All right, any other questions for Charlie?
So we probably shouldn't have vacated the property.
I think we found, you know what, we actually went through a process, when Missouri Valley was going in, we kind of talked to some of those industrial users back there on kind of what their wants were before we went to the 17th route. And a lot of those businesses back there actually stated that they didn't want those double frontage and they didn't want a road in the back portion of their businesses. So
Okay.
that's why we ultimately went this route.
Just don't know how well a cul-de-sac in an industrial area is gonna go, with turning radius and the number of things. So that's just a question down the road.
We got an engineer on working at that.
I know it's not the optimal thing, but you see it all over.
Yeah, I
You see
know,
it
but
on
yeah, I
Renewal,
get it,
all
I get
over.
it. And it may not be it may be, maybe not be a warehouse, maybe something else too, maybe, a storefront business or something. I get it, I understand.
All right,
Thank you.
is there anyone here in the audience that'd like to speak in the public hearing, or anyone on the line? All right.
I would move, we close the public
Thank
hearing.
you.
Second.
Thank you. Jackie?
Councilmember Hewland.
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
Dolby.
Aye.
Schroeder. Aye. Beach. Aye. Richardson.
All right,
All right, I need a first and second motion on a resolution adopting amendment number 7 to the Hillcrest Downtown Unified Urban Renewal Plan in the city of Indianola, state of Iowa.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Jackie?
Councilmember Beach. Aye. Richardson.
aye,
Hewland.
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
Dolby.
Aye.
Schroeder. Aye.
I need a first and second motion for resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a subaward agreement contract by and between the city of Indianola, Iowa and Warren County, Iowa.
So moved as read.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Hi, related to the last item that you just reviewed is this item. So I think, again, the council's aware of this, but the Warren County Board of Supervisors was awarded, I believe, I want to say it was about $10 million worth of COVID relief funds. And they set up a process to where entities could apply for assistance with those funds. So we, the city of Indianola, looking at this site that we're looking at developing, applied for funds to kind of help with that. Ultimately, the Board of Supervisors did agree to award us about $371,000 worth of COVID funds. So to get those funds, we have to go through a process and get into a subaward agreement with the county, which is what we're asking for your approval of this evening. So any questions on that? Be happy to answer them.
No?
Great, thank you.
Jackie?
Councilmember Parker.
Aye.
Dolby.
Aye.
Schroeder. Aye. Beach. Aye. Richardson.
aye,
Hewland.
Aye.
moving on to 8B1A, I need a first and second motion to approve an event application from the city of Indianola and Indianola Downtown Merchants for the WHO 13 RVTV Indianola Street Party on Friday, September 9th from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m.
So move. Second.
Thank you. Discussion.
Other than I'm excited, we got another event coming over the square. So
Absolutely.
I think it's gonna be great.
And this was approved by the Downtown Square Commission, right? Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I just have a question. So I'm guessing the street department's the one that has to close the square off in the day and then
yeah, they drop off the barricades.
and then open
set
it
them
back up at
Yeah,
night?
yeah.
So the city has to pay for the overtime and everything then for those?
No, so what the street department will do, so this is on a Friday, either Thursday night or Friday morning, they drop off a trailer of barricades, and then the event organizers, which will probably be a lot of me and the downtown merchants, have to set them up and then take them down and put them back in the trailer, and then the street department will come and grab the trailer on Monday morning and take it back to their facility.
Charlie's earning his money that night.
Yeah.
We're recruiting them.
Yeah.
No.
If anybody wants to help, that'll-
Yeah, it sounds like a great event, actually.
Yeah, yeah, it will be a good one.
All right. Jackie, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Richardson,
All right.
Hewlin,
Aye.
Parker,
Aye.
Selby,
Aye.
Schroeder. Aye. Beach.
All right, I need a first and second motion for suspending enforcement of Indianola Code 45.02 regarding the use and consumption of alcoholic liquor, wine, or beer upon certain public streets for RVTV. So moved. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any more discussion on this?
Real quick, since this is the second time now we've seen this with events, and I'm more than happy and glad to see it. I guess if one question, and it's something that I haven't really talked to you guys, but I've talked to a lot of other people, merchants and stuff, especially at that the Sky Parade event that was held. People like it, like the ability to do it. In fact, I even spoke with interim chief, police chief about this as well, and I jokingly made the comment that I about made an amendment to our last meeting and said, let's just permanently do this. He goes, well, hang on a second, we've got a whole bunch of students coming in at a college here close, coming up soon, so let's have a conversation. I guess something I would like to do is have us have a conversation that maybe we look at how do we set this up and maybe kick that back to the commission to be able to discuss, hey, do we do this? Is it an option when they, some guidelines, or what's the option of when they're signing up for events, and going to the city? Because in speaking with Mr. Crane, who put the last event together on Salem, he didn't know anything about it, which is why we ended up falling into that 4 o'clock special meeting the day before, which that was the impetus for me talking to a bunch of people that night, seeing did people like it, did it make sense? I know in the past, when we've had bike night, we had a square bar association that kind of controlled all that. I never really truly understood that. I think I like to be able to have the idea, and this is why I want the conversation discussion is, can somebody walk into Brick House or walk into West Hill and be able to stay, square and a block off type of a situation and move around. So during events or whatever. So I think that's something I would like to see us have a future conversation, and then maybe it's something we just kick it down to the commission and let them kind of talk about it. Because this is why in my vision of what doing the streetscape and trying to attract more people into the square for more events, and why I think a lot of the people are putting money back into the square on their own buildings. So I guess I just see this as, hey, let's see this, keep this going. So that's just.
I'll go one step with you on that, John. I guess I kind of envision the Downtown Square Commission as kind of being the ones that, whatever direction we give them, but at the same time, really kind of take us out of that whole equation, and it just goes in front of the Downtown Square Commission. I don't know if we have to do it by ordinance to allow them to make that, or, and go through that process. But I think the applications, frankly, in my opinion, should just go to the Downtown Square Commission in that particular case. And if they approve it, then maybe we have a formal thing through consent agenda or something, but bottom line is that was my vision of the Downtown Square Commission.
No, I agree. And I think that's where we got to work with that guy over there, make sure.
I agree.
All the I's dotted and T's crossed. But no, I totally agree with you. I think that's a good thing, so. Sorry to take a bunch of time.
What do
on
you
that,
think of that? What do you think about that?
but I know, sorry.
It's really a policy decision of the council and how you want to affect it, whether you have an ordinance that has, I think of, in my last community, a fireworks ordinance where there was different stages that the fire chief could choose based on the weather and the dryness conditions and whatnot. And it was a flexibly written ordinance that outlined different criteria. I can see something like that where you have, if an event meets this, and this criteria, it can fit under this parameter, and then it can be approved without having to have council action.
Mhm.
Nope.
Good idea.
Okay,
Sounds good.
cool.
All right, Jackie, would you call the roll?
Councilmember Page,
Aye.
Richardson.
All right.
Hewlin,
Aye.
Parker.
Aye.
Selby,
Aye.
Schroeder.
Aye.
All right, we will move into city manager's report.
Well, the mayor, you did a great job. I think you covered every single one of the events and everything, which is really on the report. So in addition to all of that, we have had several issues hit staff members, just so you know. So we're trying to be extra sensitive to some of our departments right now. We've had a lot of code enforcement issues and different unique situations arise with some of our projects and different construction efforts within our community that is necessitating staff time as well to try to get in and work with residents on some of those issues. I know there are a lot of those and I can report back to the council later or more and report individually on some of those actions for which I know that you have reached out to me on. Other than that, we've already talked about the breakfast and giving a report there. And I think the only thing I had from department level reports is our police department is moving forward with the development of their K-9 policy and working through that. 5 of our officers are going to be going to a training facility on the K-9s. 3 of the ones that want to participate or expressed interest, as well as our past K-9 officer and our interim chief, just to check out the facility and the animals that they work to prepare. And then 9 of our officers will be attending and participating just in the support of the Hinterland event as well. So they're kind of rallying together to help support other communities. And so appreciate them and their efforts.
I would just add to that, if I could, I know the police department had social media on raising funds for the K-9 donations. If anyone would like to donate, I think you send it to the police department, write K-9 donation in the memo line, if I'm not mistaken. So anybody that would like to donate to the K-9 effort and getting our K-9 here in Indianola, that'd be great. So just want to add that. I want to say one thing before we leave too. Tonight, with the mayor, or not the mayor, the governor signed in July 1, went into effect different delivery methods for construction. One of the delivery methods that they passed in the state legislature this last time around was construction manager at risk. I would like the staff maybe to invite somebody from the Associated General Contractors or master builders to come down. And since we're looking at some more building projects in Indianola, to explain construction manager at risk versus construction management versus design bid build. We could maybe get to educate everybody here on what those processes are, what's the most transparent. I think that would be maybe something for a study committee if we could do that. It would be a suggestion. But I think that construction manager at risk offers some interesting things for the city and for public entities where it's a guaranteed maximum price on the project. But there's a lot of things that go into that. So I'd like us to have a conversation.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, we are moving on to number 10, which is adjournment. So can I get a
So
first
moved.
and second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. All right. Thank you all. Have a good
Thank you.
night.